The room is silent. Unnaturally so. Miriam's heart pounds in her chest as she strains to hear Claire's voice, but the shadows seem to swallow every sound. She stands frozen, her mind racing to comprehend the chilling words she just heard. "I'm sorry, Miriam. I didn't mean for this to happen." Claire's voice, the same voice that had once been a source of comfort, is now a ghostly echo, twisting the air around Miriam into something suffocating. The weight of the room presses down on her, the darkness thickening like a storm cloud, waiting to break. Then the silence is broken. A soft scraping sound, like metal against stone, reverberates through the walls. Miriam whips her head toward the sound, her breath catching in her throat. There, in the far corner of the room, the mirror, a mirror she hadn't noticed before, begins to crack. Thin lines spiderweb across its surface, as if something is clawing at it from the other side. The temperature drops again. A coldness seeps into Miriam's bones, and the air tastes metallic, like blood. She can hear a faint, distant breathing now, slow, steady, but not quite human. It reverberates, rattling her skull. She reaches for the journal on the desk, her hands trembling as she flips through the pages, desperate to find something that might explain what's happening, something that might stop whatever is coming. Her fingers graze the ink-smeared pages, her eyes scanning the fragmented sentences. He watches. He waits. The archive feeds on time. The watcher controls it. I have to stop him before he finds me. A cold knot tightens in Miriam's stomach. The watcher. The words echo in her mind, each one a whisper of doom. She can't escape him. She can't stop him. The mirror continues to crack, the sound growing louder, like the splintering of glass. Miriam steps back, her eyes wide with fear. She feels the oppressive weight of something unseen, something ancient, pushing against her. She's caught in the web now, and there's no way out. Then, through the fractured glass, something shifts. A shadow, a figure, distorted and twisted. It's a silhouette at first, like a human shape made of darkness. But as the cracks widen, the image becomes clearer. A face, or rather what should have been a face, a shape that is neither human nor anything Miriam has ever seen before. It's a grotesque blend of features, each one wrong, as if someone had taken a human face and rearranged it, torn it apart and glued it back together. The reflection in the mirror grins, its lips pulling back to reveal a set of sharp, jagged teeth. But this grin isn't one of joy. It's a predatory grin, promise of something terrible. The watcher's face, or whatever it is. Miriam stumbles backward, knocking over the desk, but her feet don't seem to obey her anymore. She's rooted to the spot, her gaze locked on the mirror. The reflection reaches out, its hand stretching toward her, the fingertips curling into a claw. "It's too late, Miriam." The voice that isn't Claire's. The voice that is ancient, hollow, and filled with malice. Miriam can't breathe. The reflection in the mirror continues to stretch toward her, the air growing heavier with each passing second. The room is closing in, suffocating her. She can feel the temperature plummeting, the cold gnawing at her skin, sinking into her very soul. Her eyes dart around the room, looking for anything that might help her escape. But there's nothing, just the mirror, just the shadow reaching for her, ever so slowly, as if savoring the moment. "I'm sorry, Miriam," the voice whispers again, but this time, there's no comfort in it, no kindness, only an ominous promise. "You were never meant to find out. But now it's too late." Miriam's heart races as she fights against the pull, her legs shaking, her hands shaking, her mind racing for a way out. She reaches for the journal, desperate for an answer. She needs something, anything, that could stop this, that could break the hold the mirror has over her. And then, she finds it. A final entry, scrawled in a frantic, messy hand. The watcher is not a man. He is something older, something born from the archive itself. He lives between moments, between memories, between realities. He feeds on fear, on confusion, on the cracks in time. He is the darkness that exists when you can't see it. He is the reflection that never stops watching. Miriam's eyes widen in realization. The mirror. It wasn't just a mirror, it was a doorway. A doorway that connected them to something else. Something that existed in the spaces between time and memory. A thing that could bend reality, twist it, distort it into something unrecognizable. The Watcher was no longer just a figure in the shadows. He was the archive itself, the entity that controlled everything. The mirror was just the vessel, the window into his world. And now Miriam had crossed the threshold. She had opened the door. A sound shatters the silence. A sharp crack, followed by the rush of air. The mirror shatters completely, sending shards of glass flying through the room. Miriam ducks, her heart hammering in her chest, but the shards don't cut her. They freeze in mid-air, hovering around her like fragments of a broken dream. And then, she sees it. Through the shattered glass, something is moving in the darkness beyond. A shape looming and vast, impossible to describe. It fills the space behind the mirror, a presence so enormous that it seems to stretch beyond the boundaries of the room. Its eyes, if they can be called eyes, glow with an otherworldly light, watching her with cold, infinite knowledge. You shouldn't have come here, Miriam. The voice, once familiar, is now distant, hollow. But now that you have, there's no going back. The glass begins to shift again, reassembling itself, but not in the way it was before. The pieces of the mirror start to rearrange, forming a new shape, an opening, a doorway, and through it, Miriam sees a figure standing in the darkness. A silhouette, tall, gaunt. The figure's face is hidden in shadow, but she knows who it is. She knows who it's always been. I'm sorry, Miriam. The voice whispers again, and with that, the doorway swings open. The Watcher has arrived. Miriam stands frozen, the chill in the air cutting through her like ice. The shards of glass, suspended in the air, shimmer ominously, casting fractured reflections across the room. The doorway, the new shape that has materialized from the broken mirror, pulses, as if alive, its edges warping and undulating like some kind of organic, sentient being. Her heart pounds, each beat echoing in the silence that seems to stretch endlessly. The figure standing in the doorway is tall, impossibly tall, its shape obscured by the darkness beyond it. Miriam's breath catches in her throat. She can feel its presence, its gaze, though she can't see its face. It watches her, knows her, in a way that makes her skin crawl. She can hear Claire's voice again, faintly, but it isn't the Claire she once knew. This voice is different, distorted, cold, and full of sorrow. I never wanted this for you, Miriam, but you have to understand. You can't stop him. I don't care what you think I can or can't stop. Miriam screams, her voice hoarse with fear and rage. She steps forward, as if defying the very air that's pressing down on her. Her hands shake as she reaches for the journal again, flipping through the pages in a frenzy. She has to find something, anything that could give her a chance. The Watcher's face, those eyes in the dark, are burned into her mind. But her search turns up nothing. No answers, only more questions. The mirror's shattered surface reflects her frantic movements, but each new reflection seems wrong. It's not her own face staring back at her. In the broken glass, Miriam sees different versions of herself. Twisted, distorted versions that look like her, but somehow aren't. Some of them grin with malicious delight. Others gaze at her with empty, hollow eyes. Miriam's breath hitches. She's losing herself. The Watcher is closing in, and she's powerless to stop him. A voice, faint at first, but growing louder, breaks the oppressive silence. Miriam, help me, please. Miriam's eyes snap to the doorway, her pulse quickening. That voice, was it Claire's? It's hard to tell, the words twisted by the space between them. But it's clear. Someone is asking for help. She steps toward the doorway, her body moving on instinct. She has to get to Claire. She has to. The figure in the doorway moves. Slowly, methodically, it steps into the broken glass, its silhouette looming ever larger as it emerges from the shadows. Miriam's breath catches in her throat. It's not a man. It's not human. to something far worse. The air around it distorts as if reality itself is warping to accommodate its presence. A thick, black mist trails behind it, swirling like smoke from a dying fire. And yet, it feels alive, its presence pressing against Miriam's mind like an unbearable weight. It speaks, the words thick with something unnatural, like a whisper carried on the wind. "You think you can stop me?" The voice is distorted, an amalgamation of hundreds of voices, all speaking at once, overlapping, creating a cacophony of dread. "I have always watched, and now I will take what is mine." Miriam stumbles back, her breath shallow, her body trembling. She wants to scream, to run, but her legs won't move. The watcher's eyes that are more like voids than eyes, lock onto her, and the world begins to unravel around her. The journal, she needs the journal. Desperately, she grabs it again, flipping through the pages, her hands frantic. She doesn't even know what she's looking for anymore, but the desperation claws at her insides. There has to be something. A clue, a way out. And then, she finds it. In the back of the journal, in the last few pages, there's a single phrase written in bold, jagged letters. "It's not him. It never was." Miriam stares at the words, her mind spinning. What does it mean? Who is it referring to? The watcher? Or something else? Her gaze flickers back to the doorway where the shadow looms, its form shifting as if it's not entirely real. And then, everything goes still. The watcher pauses, its form freezing mid-motion, as if it's caught in some invisible force. The black mist stops swirling, and for a fleeting moment, the room seems to hold its breath. Miriam's heart races, her mind scrambling for answers. She steps forward, tentative, but something inside her, something primal, urges her to keep going. She lifts the journal, holding it in front of her like a shield. "It's not him. It never was." The words echo in her mind, and she realizes the truth. The watcher isn't just a man. It's something much older, something born of the archive itself. It feeds on fear, on time, on memories. But the journal, this journal, isn't just a collection of notes. It's a key. The watcher's form flickers, its features twisting and distorting in a way that makes Miriam's stomach churn. It's trying to move again, but something is holding it back. The journal, the words, they're doing something. The tension in the air thickens, and Miriam can feel the shift. She doesn't have much time. "Please, Miriam. Please help me." The voice again, Claire's voice. But this time it's not the same. It's distant, broken, as if it's coming from the other side of a vast, empty chasm. The watcher's face, if it can be called a face, morphs into something worse. Its eyes, those eyes that never blink, narrow in anger, in frustration. "You're too late," it hisses, the voice rasping like dead leaves in a windstorm. "The archive belongs to me now. You cannot stop what is already set in motion." Miriam takes a step back, clutching the journal tighter. She can feel the ground beneath her feet shifting, the world warping around her. The space between her and the watcher is growing, stretching like a rift, like time itself is bending to its will. But Miriam won't let it take her. With a final, desperate breath, she holds the journal up, opening it to the last page. And then she reads the final words aloud. "To break the cycle, you must sever the thread. Find the reflection." The watcher screeches, a sound so horrible, so primal, it shatters the fragile air. The ground beneath Miriam's feet cracks, the darkness rushing in from all sides, swallowing her whole. The journal slips from her grasp, falling into the void, as the watcher's figure lunges forward, its hands reaching for her. And then, everything goes black. What is the reflection? Will Miriam find a way to sever the thread before it's too late? Who else is trapped in the archive's grip? And how far does this dark entity's reach extend? The answers lie ahead. The darkness swallows Miriam whole, and for a moment, everything is still. The sensation of falling into an endless abyss grips her, a suffocating weight pressing down on her chest. She can't breathe, can't move, can't feel anything except the cold emptiness that surrounds her. Her mind spins, racing to make sense of the chaos, but the fragmented images and words that linger in her thoughts don't come together. The journal, the watcher, the reflection, they all blur into an incomprehensible haze. And then light. It's faint at first, a shimmering glow at the edges of her vision. Slowly, the darkness recedes, the weight lifting as she gasps for air. The world around her comes into focus, but it's not the world she remembers. The room is strange, old, decaying, like it's been forgotten by time. She's standing in a narrow hallway, the walls cracked and peeling. The air smells of dust, rot, and something far more sinister. It's a place she's never been, yet it feels familiar. She stumbles forward, her footsteps echoing eerily in the stillness. The floor creaks beneath her weight, and the unsettling quiet only deepens her sense of dread. Her mind races, her pulse quickening as she tries to piece together what's happening. Is this part of the archive? Another layer? Another reality within the reflection? As she moves down the hallway, a door appears at the end, slightly ajar. There's no sound, no movement, but something in her gut tells her to go through it, to find out what's waiting on the other side. With trembling hands, she pushes the door open. The room is dimly lit, shadows dancing across the walls. It looks like an old study, shelves of books lining the walls, a desk cluttered with papers, and an old chair facing a large mirror. The reflection in the mirror is the first thing that catches Miriam's attention. It's her face staring back at her with wide, terrified eyes. But something's wrong. In the reflection, she isn't standing alone. Behind her, a figure stands in the shadows, just out of focus. A shape, tall and thin, its features obscured by the dim light. Miriam's heart skips a beat. She knows who it is. The Watcher. The presence she's been running from. The same dark figure that has haunted her through every twist of this nightmare. She steps closer to the mirror, her breath quickening as she studies her own reflection. It's impossible. How can she be standing in front of the mirror when she's already in the room? Her hands tremble as she reaches toward the glass, the surface cold beneath her fingertips. She's not sure why, but something compels her to touch it. As soon as her fingers make contact, a shiver runs through her body. The reflection ripples, distorting, and the figure behind her steps forward. Closer now. Miriam gasps, stumbling backward as the figure moves with unnatural speed. It's almost as if the Watcher is stepping through the reflection itself. But before she can react, the reflection shifts again, and the figure behind her is gone. In its place stands a woman with long, dark hair and deep, sorrowful eyes. Claire, Miriam whispers, her voice barely audible. The woman in the reflection nods slowly, her face a mirror image of the mother Miriam has come to know. But this Claire is different. Her eyes hold something Miriam isn't prepared for. They're full of pain and fear and something darker. You shouldn't have come here, Miriam, the reflection says, her voice a hollow echo of Claire's. You're too late. Miriam stumbles back, her heart pounding in her chest. She wants to speak, to demand answers, but the words won't come. The air in the room grows thick with tension, and the reflection of Claire's face starts to twist, her features distorting in ways that make Miriam's stomach churn. It's too late for all of us. Claire's reflection continues, her voice now becoming more distant. You're part of the archive now. You'll never leave. The words hit Miriam like a physical blow. Her mind races. What does it mean? What is the archive? What does it have to do with her? And why is Claire, the woman she thought she knew, part of it? Before she can ask, the reflection of Claire vanishes entirely, replaced by the cold, empty void of the mirror. Miriam stares into it, the silence swallowing her whole. And then she hears it. A voice, low, guttural, like a whisper carried on the wind, comes from behind her, just beyond the edge of her hearing. A voice she's heard before, a voice that's haunted her nightmares. You shouldn't have opened the door. Miriam spins around, but there's nothing there. No one. Only the stillness of the room. The darkened hallway stretches out behind her, its shadows deepening. You can't stop it. The voice again, this time louder, more menacing. You are already part of it. Miriam's pulse quickens. She looks back at the mirror, her reflection staring back at her. But now, something is different. The glass is cracked, the fractures spreading across the surface like a spider's web. And through the cracks, Miriam can see movement. The Watcher is coming for her. Slowly, impossibly slow, it steps forward, its shape flickering in and out of focus. She backs away from the mirror, her heart racing, but there's nowhere to run. The door she came through has vanished, leaving only the fractured reflection and the creeping darkness. Miriam knows she's trapped. She reaches for the journal, but it's gone. She's alone, with only the whispers of the Watcher and the terrifying realization that she's part of something far darker than she ever imagined. The Watcher's figure grows clearer, its form taking shape as it approaches. Its cold, empty eyes lock onto hers. It's too late, the Watcher says, its voice hollow, like the echo of a dying world. Miriam stares into its eyes, the void within them pulling her in. She feels herself losing grip on reality, the world around her starting to bend, to break apart. And then, in the distance, she hears something. A sound so faint, it might be a dream. A whisper, a soft call. Her name, Miriam. The voice is familiar. It's Claire's. Or at least it sounds like Claire's. But it's distant, muffled, as though coming from far away. Miriam's eyes widen. Could it be a trick? Or is it a chance to escape? Without thinking, she reaches toward the mirror, her fingers brushing against the fractured surface. And then, everything goes black. To be continued. What lies behind the mirror? What is the truth behind the archive? And how does it connect to Miriam and Claire? Can Miriam escape? Or has she been caught in a trap of her own making? Find out in the next chapter of this chilling story.